I think part of it was just additional time for education, helping people understand the difficult situation we were in and the reasons behind it. I think it helped also having a referendum list, because I think for some people it drove home the difficulty we were in a very real way, because it was starting to encroach on programs and services, which to me and to a lot of people signaled that this is not going to get better. I really believe this was a campaign of neighbors, families, friends talking to neighbors, families, and friends. And that idea that people to people, we help people understand the responsibility toward the children in this district and the problems with the state and how that was going to impact them. So to me it was a complex, multi-layered effort of people talking to everyone they knew, helping them understand, answering questions, providing information, but helping them basically see that this impact was on everybody, not just the children in District 7. And we had said we were going to do it in thirds, 3 rounds. The first round in the spring of 17, then the spring of 18, then the spring of 19, if we didn't have additional revenue. Because one way or the other, we have to balance the ed fund in order to prevent that potential for being on a state takeover list. That would have been the worst part of it. So one of the things that I explained to people was that now that we were 4 to 6 months closer to that, then the first round of cuts, which represents the referendum list, was what was at risk, because we have to, one way or the other, reducing expenditures, which is what the referendum list would have done, increasing revenue, or both, a combination of both. We have to be in a position to not be labeled for state takeover, and that's been our goal the entire time, is to not let this district get into that position. This is huge. This allows us to retain what we want for our children, which is all the academic opportunities, the athletic, extracurricular, fine and performing arts, all of the things that our children benefit from, and we can retain all that. But along with that will be some very careful spending in paying down that $6.7 million debt, reducing the ed fund so that we can move off that financial watch list. That doesn't happen automatically just because we passed it. Things that we've never had to do before was take out tax anticipation warrants to pay for transportation, which is a separate fund from the ed fund. But the state hasn't paid us for any transportation this year. If that were to continue, then that means that we have to find those funds within our resources to do that, and we have to be on the lookout for those kinds of things happening down the road with special ed reimbursement, other grants, and other categorical payments. So part of our vigilance with the budget will be to prepare us, to shore ourselves up, basically to help us weather what we see coming could be even reduced state participation, so that we can afford to do the things we need to do for textbooks, technology, and school security, pay down the debt, balance the ed fund, and then be able to weather any of the upcoming financial crises. So we've got some very strong plans in place, and we have got a lot of work to do over the next two years to be sure that all those things happen. So we see that happening too. We're experiencing it this year, and we think we'll have to prepare for that for next year.